Good evening. In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions. The majority in cases from Texas and Georgia said that the decision to end a pregnancy during the first 3 months belongs to the woman and her doctor, not the government.
Women across the world have been fighting for their rights for many decades. The first women's protest for reproductive rights in America took place in 1960. For 60 years, women have had to march in the streets and beg for what they deserve.
Norma McCorvey raised this subject to the Supreme Court. Roe v. Wade was a landmark legal decision made by the Supreme Court in 1973, which allowed abortion to be legal in all 50 states.
In 1969, Norma McCorvey came across the decision that she wanted to terminate her unwanted pregnancy. She proceeded to attempt an illegal, unsuccessful abortion. After the self-induced abortion had failed, McCorvey wanted to bring it upon 2 Texas attorneys who were interested in changing abortion laws. The court documents became known as Jane Roe.
The district attorney who filed against McCorvey was known as Henry Wade. This was the start of Roe v. Wade.
And with sources telling us that Judge Amy Coney Barrett will be President Trump's Supreme Court pick, we turn now to the future of Roe v. Wade and abortion rights in America. A potential 6-3 conservative majority could pose the greatest threat yet to that watershed decision that made abortion legal across this country.
And we have known for a long time that the American people are in favor of a woman's right to choose. According to the CBS News poll in June, Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court should keep as is, 63%, overturn it, 29%. And yet here we are just a couple days after the passing of Justice Ginsburg. And there is a lot of concern that now, with the potential of a 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court, that among all the rights that are in the crosshairs now, Roe v. Wade is the one that we know Republicans and conservatives in particular want overturned.
We got the opportunity to speak with Carol Doherty, recently elected as state representative for the 3rd Bristol District, which includes Taunton and Easton. We asked her why she was so vocal about women's rights, and she responded by saying,
and grew up to adulthood right on the cusp of the women's movement. And so there was a lot of activity around feminism and women's issues and all of the kinds of things that really, the Equal Rights Amendment, for example, that moved women into a different position in society.
Part of her vocality of women's rights in America is speaking out about her opinion on the Roe versus Wade landmark case and its importance to many women today.
Well, I think that the Roe versus Wade, as you know, enacted by the Supreme Court in 1973 was really a pivotal moment for women in our society, as I pointed out. And some data points in that regard. So before 1973, there was an estimated 1.2 million women each year who were forced to resort to illegal abortions, resulting in terrible medical, psychological effects, even death as a result of back alley abortions, unsafe abortions at that time, and was the leading cause of maternal mortality at the time. And so it's really...
The Republican bill pretends to be for women's health, but it would prohibit federal funds to go to an organization that is the health care backbone for American women during their lives. In fact, it's the only health care that a significant number of women get. About 30% of women, that's their health care.
The bill being proposed by Republicans would take money away from mainstream healthcare programs and put it into funds that they see fit. This would leave most women without good healthcare or any healthcare at all.
The same week that Georgia became the 4th state in 2019 alone to pass a 6-week abortion ban. Keep in mind that many women don't even know they're pregnant yet at 6 weeks. And because of language about so-called personhood of the embryo, the Georgia law could also make women criminally liable for things like going out of state to have an abortion in a state in which it's not banned, or for having a miscarriage.
Women who unexpectedly become pregnant during this COVID crisis are struggling more than ever. They need to know what their options are. A clinic set up in Texas made its goal to support these women and make sure that they know that they are not alone in their situation. Since the addition of this clinic in Texas, the number of women who they have seen and the number of women who have decided to keep their child has risen by almost 90%. This just goes to show that the more aware women are of their options, the more likely they are to keep their child.
I
I believe that women should be able to make the decision on whether they have an abortion or not. Whether they decide to or not should be completely up to them, and no one should have the right to take that away. This project has made me much more aware of how important women's rights are in America.
I agree with both Alyssa and Representative Carol Doherty. I believe that every woman in America should have the right to choose whether or not they want to terminate an unwanted pregnancy. After doing research for this project and learning about providing safe and legal abortion care to women in America has caused my pro-choice opinion to become stronger.